What if I told you that everything you thought about success, happiness, and growth is about to be flipped upside down? These lessons aren't just tips. They are life-altering truths that have the power to break you free from old limits and unlock a future you never dared to imagine. Stick around, because what you're about to hear could change everything forever. Welcome to Kunzy Podcast English, where we dive deep into powerful lessons and stories that inspire real change. I'm your host, and today, get ready to discover the lessons that will change your life forever. Let's jump right in. Nobody cares. Work harder. Have you ever sat alone in the quiet of the night and wondered why life seems so unfair? Why you try so hard but no one notices? Why all the pain you've endured, the betrayals, the heartbreaks, why none of it seems to matter to anyone? The truth is, nobody cares. And as harsh as that sounds, it's also one of the most powerful truths you can ever embrace. No one cares how many nights you cried yourself to sleep. No one cares how broken you've been inside. No one has time to understand the scars you carry. And you know what? That's not a tragedy. It's liberation. Because if nobody owes you anything, then you owe it to no one to be perfect, to seek their approval, or to live for their validation. You don't need sympathy. You don't need applause. You only need one thing: to work harder. Everyone is fighting their own battles. Everyone is too consumed by their own chaos to worry about yours. That means the responsibility, the power, falls entirely into your hands. And that's where your strength lies. When you stop waiting for someone to care, you stop giving your power away. You start building for yourself, pushing for yourself, growing for yourself. So stop hoping someone will come to save you. No one is coming. And that's okay, because you've got what it takes. Wipe your tears, clench your fists, and whisper to yourself, "It's all right. Let's keep going." Because every time you choose to keep going, you are shaping a version of yourself that is tougher, wiser, more unstoppable. And one day, when you're standing on the mountaintop of your own life, when you have the success, the peace, and the power you once dreamed of, you'll look back and be grateful for this very moment. This moment where nobody cared, and so you decided to care for yourself. Remember this: nobody cares. Work harder. Show up anyway. There will be days when your body aches, your heart feels heavy, and your mind screams for you to give up. You'll wake up with zero motivation, filled with doubt, regret, or the weight of failure pressing on your chest. But here's the truth. You still have to show up. Not because it's easy. Not because you feel ready. But because that's what warriors do. They show up, broken, bruised, exhausted, and still choose to take one more step. Think of the athlete who lost everything to a career-ending injury. The doctors told him he'd never run again. Fans forgot his name. Sponsors vanished. His dream was shattered. But he didn't surrender to that fate. He trained in silence. He rebuilt every muscle, every habit, every ounce of belief. Not because someone forced him, but because deep down he chose to rise, alone, quietly, relentlessly. That's the kind of strength that changes lives. You may not be an athlete, but life throws punches at all of us. And the only way forward is this: show up anyway. Show up for your goals, even when you're tired. Show up for your future, even when your past is still haunting you. Show up for the person you want to become, even when the current version of you feels lost and small. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to be there every single day. Because progress doesn't reward those who feel good. It rewards those who keep going. The discipline to show up especially when you least feel like it, is the difference between those who dream and those who do. So next time you feel like giving up, remember, your feelings are real, but they don't define you. Your actions do. Show up anyway. Become unrecognizable. True transformation is not a gentle process of improving yourself a little bit. It's a profound, sometimes brutal rebirth, where the person you once were dies, and in their place, someone entirely new is born. This is the kind of change that shakes you to your core, that forces you to question everything you believed about yourself, your limits, and your identity. It's not about small tweaks or surface-level fixes. It's about tearing down the entire old framework of your life and rebuilding from the ground up. To become unrecognizable means cutting off toxic habits that have weighed you down for years, distancing yourself from people who drain your energy or keep you stuck in old patterns, and uprooting thoughts that limit your vision of what's possible. It means breaking every chain of comfort, fear, and familiarity, even if it means standing alone in the silence for a while. There's a story of a man who didn't say, "I changed." Instead, he said, "I died." The old version of himself died. The person he used to be no longer exists. And the one standing before the world now is someone he consciously chose to become. Stronger, wiser, fearless. This is the power of radical transformation. When you shed your old skin completely, you open the door to an entirely new life. But this path is neither easy nor painless. It demands ruthless honesty with yourself. You must confront your weaknesses, your failures, your darkest fears. You must be willing to lose friends who don't support your growth and leave behind habits that once felt like safety nets. This process can feel like a kind of death, a painful shedding of identity. But from this death, true life emerges. The beauty of becoming unrecognizable is that it frees you from the expectations and limitations others have placed on you, and even those you have placed on yourself. No longer bound by who you used to be, you gain the freedom to create a new narrative, one driven by your highest values, greatest passions, and boldest dreams. Remember, you can't build a new future if you're still living in the past. The person you want to become does not fit inside your old skin. You have to burn it away. And while the world may struggle to recognize you at first, that's a sign you're moving in the right direction. Because the greatest transformations always start with becoming unrecognizable. So don't settle for just being a better you. Aim to be a completely new you. Fierce, resilient, and unbreakable. This is your chance to rise, not as a mere improvement, but as a whole new person ready to conquer whatever lies ahead. Take it personal. In a world that often feels cold and indifferent, it's easy to build walls around your heart and become numb to rejection, criticism, and doubt. But the truth is, the most powerful fuel for growth comes from letting those painful moments hit you deeply, taking them personally, not as wounds to your ego, but as sparks to ignite your fire. When someone doubts you, rejects you, or looks down on you, don't turn away or shrug it off. Instead, hold it close. Let it sink in. Let it burn in your veins. Use it as raw, unfiltered motivation to prove not to them, but to yourself, just how far you can go. Taking it personal means embracing every insult, every snide comment, every cold shoulder as a challenge, a call to arms in your personal battle for greatness. It's not about seeking revenge or harboring bitterness. It's about transforming pain into purpose. The people who ignore you or say you'll never make it, remember their words. Write them down if you have to. Let those moments become the cornerstone of your resilience. Let them forge your character into something unbreakable. There's a story of a man who was rejected time and again, ignored, overlooked, underestimated. Instead of breaking, he absorbed every slight, every doubt like water soaking into dry soil. And from that, he grew roots deep and strong. He didn't just survive the rejection. He transformed it into a relentless drive that pushed him beyond limits he never thought possible. When you take things personally in this way, you stop being a passive victim of circumstances. You become a warrior who channels pain into progress. You make every no, every dismissal, every underestimation a personal challenge, a test of your grit and determination. This is how you build a legacy not despite the opposition, but because of it. So the next time someone tries to knock you down, don't turn away. Look that doubt straight in the eye and take it personally. Use it to fuel the fire inside you. Let it remind you why you started, why you keep fighting, and why you will rise stronger than ever before. This is the art of turning rejection into your greatest strength, a strength no one can ever take away from you. The clock is ticking. Time is the most precious asset each of us has, yet it's also the one thing we cannot control or buy back once it's gone. It waits for no one, shows no mercy, and doesn't care about your reasons, fears, or hesitation. Every second that passes is an opportunity that will never return. A magnificent version of yourself that could have been born but was left behind in a moment of doubt. Imagine a man full of talent and burning dreams. He has everything: desire, ability, and intelligence. But he gets stuck in the cycle of waiting for the perfect moment. He writes grand plans, makes lists of ambitious goals, but never truly begins. Years go by and he stays in the same place, watching others move forward and build the life he once dreamed of. And when he looks back, he only sees an aging face, eyes filled with regret for things never done, dreams that died prematurely on the pages. The saddest part isn't growing old. It's the deep sense of loss when you realize that time has taken away a life you could have lived. Every moment of hesitation is a brick left unlaid on the path to your future. And every time you say to yourself, just wait a little longer, you let fear and doubt control you, causing your dreams to fade like the sunset at the end of the day. But this is also a powerful liberation. You don't have to wait for everything to be perfect to start. Life doesn't wait for anyone, but it doesn't have to be your enemy either. You can turn it into an ally if you choose to act now, even if the first step is small and humble. It is decisiveness and persistence that create the difference between success and failure. When you truly understand that the clock is ticking, you won't forgive yourself for delaying any longer. You will feel a fire burning inside, urging you to move forward despite hardships and challenges. You will realize that no one but yourself can create the future you want. Every moment you hesitate is a choice to give up the chance to live a full and meaningful life. Let every tick of the clock be a constant reminder that you have time, but it is not infinite. Act today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Because only action can take you out of your comfort zone and turn your dreams into reality. Every day you live is a new page in your story. Make sure it's a story you're proud to tell. Time does not wait, but you can seize it and create miracles in your life. What matters is that you start. Start right now. Because the clock is ticking, and every second that passes is an opportunity lost forever. What will you choose? To keep hesitating or to step forward and become the greatest version of yourself. Life doesn't give you a second chance. Live fully from this very moment. Real life stories that bring these life lessons to life. Lesson 1. Nobody cares. Work harder. Look at the story of Elon Musk, the man who revolutionized the automotive and space industries with Tesla and SpaceX. When starting SpaceX, the idea of reusable rockets sounded like a wild dream, ridiculed and doubted by many experts. No one stepped forward to help him. No one cared about the repeated failures, from failed launches to severe financial shortages. Elon Musk did not complain or seek sympathy. He just worked relentlessly, sacrificing sleep and meals to make his dream come true. This is living proof of a harsh truth. The world doesn't care about your pain or your story. They only see results. And if you want success, you must work harder than everyone else. Lesson 2. Show up anyway. Serena Williams, one of the greatest tennis players of all time, went through serious injuries that threatened her career. There were times she was so exhausted she wanted to give up, pressured by the media and fierce competition. But what made Serena different was her spirit of show up anyway. Despite the pain, disappointment, or fatigue, she still stepped onto the court and fought with all her might. Not because anyone forced her, but because she chose to rise every day. That perseverance created the legend of Serena, allowing her not only to win Grand Slam titles, but also to become an icon of unyielding willpower. Lesson 3. Become unrecognizable. Steve Jobs is a prime example of the lesson, become unrecognizable. After being fired from the very company he founded, many thought he would give up and fade into oblivion. But no, Jobs decided to completely transform himself and his approach. He spent time learning and exploring, and when he returned to Apple, he was not the old man, but a totally new leader with a revolutionary vision. Products like the iPod, iPhone, and iPad proved this transformation. Jobs once said, "I didn't change. I died, and this is the person I chose to become." This was not just improvement. It was a complete rebirth of himself. Lesson 4. Take it personal. Oprah Winfrey. From a poor, abused, and abandoned girl to one of the most powerful women in the global television industry, she is living proof of turning pain into strength. Throughout her career, Oprah faced countless rejections, ignorance, and harsh criticism. But instead of becoming hardened, she used those words as fuel, igniting a fire inside to keep growing. Every insult became a shield that made her stronger, more determined, and ultimately led to a brilliant success admired worldwide. Lesson 5. The clock is ticking. There is a tragic story of Vincent van Gogh, a genius painter who struggled all his life with insecurity, lack of recognition, and endlessly postponed fully expressing his talent. He spent most of his life with unfinished sketches and unknown paintings, and died before witnessing true success. The lesson here is time waits for no one, and procrastination and fear are the biggest enemies of dreams. Steve Jobs once said, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life." You have only one life to become the best version of yourself. Start today, because the clock keeps ticking without pause. Final message. Just start. Don't wait until you feel ready, because that moment might never come. Don't wait for the perfect conditions, because perfection is an illusion that keeps many trapped in endless hesitation. You don't need to be fearless, because courage isn't the absence of fear, it's taking action despite it. You don't need to have all the answers, all the skills, or a detailed plan laid out. You only need to take that first step forward. The journey of 1,000 miles always begins with a single step, and that step is yours to take right now. Think about this. You already have everything necessary to begin. Your mind is powerful, capable of creating new realities. Your body is strong, able to carry you through challenges. Your breath is steady, grounding you in the present moment. And time is the most precious resource you'll ever have, yet so many waste it waiting for someday. Don't let your dreams slip away while you make excuses. Every second that passes is a second you can never get back. Let me tell you a story about a man named James. He was once stuck in a dead-end job, full of self-doubt and fear of failure. One day, he decided not to wait anymore. With no experience and little money, he started a small business from his garage. The beginning was tough. He stumbled, he failed, but he never stopped moving forward. Years later, that small garage startup a thriving company that changed his life and many others. James didn't wait for the right moment. He just started, imperfectly but consistently, and that made all the difference. This moment, right now, is your chance to rewrite your story, to choose growth over comfort, action over procrastination, and courage over doubt. It doesn't matter how small your first step is. What matters is that you take it. Because once you start moving, momentum builds, and your life will begin to change in ways you never imagined. Let this video be more than just words on a screen. Let it be the spark that ignites the fire within you. Subscribe, not just for updates or content, but as a commitment to the strongest, most fearless, and unstoppable version of yourself. Because you deserve that life. You deserve that transformation. And it all begins when you say yes to yourself and simply start.